Did you hear about these drones? Everyone's heard about these drones.
The ones over the U.S. that they're shooting down
over the Yukon, over the U.S. There's been 4 or 5. I don't know. I haven't kept up today, and then China comes out today and goes, "You've shot down. I mean, we've had to shoot down a bunch of your weather balloons too, weather balloons or spy balloons or whatever."
I hate to break it to you, to America, of course, like because Canada, we could give a shit what anyone else is doing. Also, I'm always fascinated by the idea
had to shoot them down.
That people would be like, "Hey, let's send a weather balloon over Canada to see what they're doing." What do you see we're doing over here? If you're gonna fly it over Alberta, you're gonna see people. If you're going over the Yukon, you're gonna see people making sleds.
I think they were on their way to another place, though.
If you go over to Alberta, you're gonna see a bunch of people making cow meat or steaks. If you go over Saskatchewan, you're gonna see a bunch of jack shit. If you go over, what's next? Can't remember. But if you go over Ontario, you're going to see fucking Ottawa.
Bet that this...
What the fuck is beside Saskatchewan?
Well, how much you want to bet that this drone or
bug me.
Or spy plane or spy balloon was actually looking at Alaska and had just escaped to Yukon?
How can I be a Canadian
Manitoba
and not fucking
Manitoba?
know which
Manitoba
are things?
Manitoba.
What a small fucking picture.
Manitoba.
I want a bigger picture.
Manitoba.
Manitoba, you're right. Oh, shit, you know what I forgot about British Columbia? You know what? It's because I forgot about British Columbia. So I was like, what the fuck is... Because I was like, dude, I know that Saskatchewan... I thought Saskatchewan was where Manitoba was. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, Canada. I discussed myself. I discussed myself. But if we're being fair, Ontario is the only province that matters in Ontario.
Vancouver.
What's so good about Vancouver?
It's our Hollywood.
Fuck those people. Fuck those
Canadian
black mermaids.
Hollywood.
Fuck those black mermaids that are
God.
filming in Blurmaidville. What's it called? Vancouver. Yeah, and what's the other one? Alberta, because Last of Us being filmed in Alberta.
So spy planes. Speaking of planes.
Spy planes? The movie's called Plane. And I wrote down
there.
in my notes
I'm getting there.
The movie's called Plain.
It's very plain.
Plane.
It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
It has a great rating on
Holy
it.
shit, Nova Scotia's small.
Oh my God.
Nova's fucking huge.
I believe that you have ADHD.
I don't understand what ADHD is, so I won't respond.
Until it comes up later and you're just like, oh.
My first question, well, so let's get this out of the way right now. This movie is like an hour and 47 minutes long. I fell asleep, I want to say about an hour in. I woke up, movie was over. Like, fuck. I rewound it to what I remembered, then fell asleep again about 10 minutes later, woke up
I wonder
in
if
the
there
middle
was
of the
like
credits.
a thing in your brain
Yeah,
that remembered that you fell asleep there and you just went,
almost
okay,
like,
again.
Almost like Gerard Butler was like saying the secret word, like, now Rob, now's when you go to sleep. When I pass out, and it was him forcing me to go
It's
to
the
sleep.
sultry Gerard Butler.
That's one thing I want to talk about. So, as I remember, as the show is starting, he's talking to his daughter on a phone as he's rushing to get to his plane.
Oh my God, the daughter stuff was completely useless.
And
just saying.
I couldn't figure out, is he doing a bad job of hiding his accent? Or is he just doing a very toned down accent? And by the time he gets to the plane and he's talking to his co-pilot, he's doing a very toned down Scottish accent. Because he says he's from Scotland.
It's his accent.
His accent is much stronger than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
No, yes. His the way he sounds in How to Train Your Dragon, that's his accent.
So I think it's played out.
No. When I've seen him talk and stuff, that's his fucking accent.
Really? So maybe the director's like, okay, we can't understand you. You're going to have to tone it down.
That's exactly what I thought it was. Like, yeah, you'll have some haggis waiting there for me. And she's like, I can't understand.
Either you
saying.
tone it down or we make everyone Irish.
Scottish, not Irish. You fucking idiot.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's true. They're both the same. They both have castles. But
I'll get the comments now.
But yeah, his watered down accent weirded me out because I was like, it's almost there. And what if you have an amazing? Because the Scottish accent's a beautiful accent. If you have like a nice thick Scottish fucking brogue, use that. Don't Don't hide it.
It's not his choice.
It's bullshit. It's what
You
it
get
is.
you get cast as whatever you get cast.
Now, I have been on a lot of planes, right? Because I'm a YouTube influencer that does a lot of traveling.
14K views.
But not on YouTube.
No, on
but,
TikTok, our favorite Chinese.
So I'll stop talking there. Let me let you walk into that hole.
It's run by Chinese people.
It is run
it's
by
Chinese propaganda. They flip a switch and they go, we want the kids of America to be depressed. Let's send them in a direction on their view, like as they're swiping, they can control that direction. So they can just depress everyone and make it worse for the whole nation. And people don't even know. They just think their kids are depressed. You're welcome.
So, as someone that's been on a lot of planes, done a lot of traveling, the passengers get on the plane, and they are in the air within 5 minutes. In my life, I have never arrived on a plane and been in the air in less than, I want to say, 45 minutes. So that led me to a question. What is the longest you have ever spent on a tarmac in a plane?
Oh, I don't remember.
Ugh.
Because only in recent history I've been on a plane maybe one time each way. Because that was I went to WrestleMania 12 to 15 years back. But before that, when I was like 7 maybe, went to Florida.
Well, I remember we were on the tarmac one time for, luckily we were in a huge fucking plane. I was reading the Dark Tower, book 7, called The Dark Tower. And I believe it was about 2 hours that we were stuck in the tarmac. So not terrible, but still a long time to be stuck in a chair. My wife one time, because she was on a little fucking shitty, like 4-seater plane, came from Thunder Bay. There was nowhere, no gates that they could bring the plane in. She was stuck in the fucking tarmac for 8 hours.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, that sucks.
did she get anything in return for
probably
waiting
not.
that long?
I don't know. She was
I would
young.
have pressed it. I would have been like,
She was
"Fuck
young,
you."
but I remember complaining to her, like, dude, I was on there 2 hours when I was in Beverly Hills. She's like, 2 hours? Wow, fucking tough for you. I was in it for 8 hours one time.
I don't think I had any wait at all for when I went to Florida.
No, there's always been some sort of, and then you've got to taxi out, and then if you got to wait while the
aside
other
from
planes.
that kind of thing.
But didn't you notice that they got in? They didn't even taxi. They were just like, all right, let's take off. And they fucking took right off. I'm like, dude, I wish.
It was a small plane.
Maybe it's because they were in Singapore. Maybe that's how they do shit in Singapore, because it said he was flying on a Singapore flight.
They were on their way to Toronto.
Really? Oh, they stopped in Toronto.
In Toronto, and then going to.
Have you ever
somewhere else.
been on the plane where the captain came back and said hi to everybody?
No.
No, I've had a couple times. It's pretty neat. But yeah, so that was the other thing, how they take off like immediately, and I was like, God damn. And then they're doing, hey, we're pilots, and let's talk about pilot stuff. And then, hey, we both have families. Let's talk about our family stuff. And then the turbulence. And this got me laughing because I've been in some interesting turbulent situations. So I was like, have you ever been in a situation where there's really bad turbulence? No. I've had some bad turbulence. The worst turbulence I ever had was one time I was going to, oh Christ, I don't even remember. Probably like New York. I was going somewhere. It wasn't a long flight, but I remember it was a last minute ticket that I had to get. So I was at like the very back of the plane. And I don't know if you know, dude, the back of the plane, when there's like a storm, that shit shakes like a fucking, like a broken, like an old jalopy of a car.
Sounds like fun.
So
Especially for a short flight.
I'm in this plane, and it's dark as fuck because it's like 11 o'clock at night that we're taking off. This whole fucking plane, whole time. I remember for that whole flight, I don't usually have a problem with turbulence at all.
So it's like a 4D seat at a Cineplex?
That's what it was, like the fucking decom seats. I remember being in this fucking plane, and from the moment we took off, I was shake it until we sat down. Until we came down. That was the most obnoxious fucking flight I've ever been in my life.
That was my Star Wars viewing a couple years back in the 4D seats.
Dude, I like those 4D seats. But
No, I
I've
hated
had
it.
some good flights. I've had some bad flights. I remember the worst flight I've ever been on. I was so sick, and it was like a cold where your head stuffed up and you feel like absolute dog shit. And I was coming back home, so there was no way I was missing my fucking flight, and I was freezing cold. And so I had my jacket like wrapped around me, and I had my iPad on, and I was listening to a Star Wars documentary, and my ears were so sore I couldn't even put my fucking headphones in. I said to the guys, there was two guys on either side. He was in the middle seat. I was like, guys, dude, I can't put my fucking headphones in. It's hurt me so much. Are you guys okay with listening to this? And they're like, yeah, do whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, so I was
Why
listening
didn't
to
they
it.
go? I'll put your fucking headphones on your head. Like,
I was sitting there and I was like, shit. I think they just
I'd
didn't want
be
to
like,
fucking
I
touch
don't
me.
wanna deal
I
with
don't think
you.
they wanted to touch me because I was so very obviously so ill. And
it
then,
was before COVID too.
oh yeah, it was
So
years and years
that
ago.
was just like one of those things. They're like,
Not
instead
maybe
of,
they
oh
were
my
big.
god.
Maybe they were big Star Wars fans.
Could be.
But I remember that I was like, oh, this is nice of these guys. But I was so fucking sick,
They were
dude.
sitting there like, I wish I could watch this with them. And then you piped up and you were like, yeah, just leave it
And
on.
then their heads around my shoulder. We were all watching it together. But yeah, that was a fun flight. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so they're in pretty bad,
Plane.
and then they had turbulence. It
the
reminded me.
crazy turbulence was
Yeah.
hilarious. And that's what you laughed at, right?
Oh fuck! It's I like. I don't know.
I know exactly.
I don't know what happens to this girl.
Yeah.
But somehow she flies up in the air, comes down, and snaps her
On
neck.
her neck, on the seat. Yeah.
What happened to the cop guy? I just saw him die.
I think they didn't pay as much attention to it as the girl is
Oh,
snapping
okay, but
her leg.
something
He just-
similar.
I think he just went.
Okay, because I was like, oh, he's dead too. I didn't see
he,
any
like,
necks get snapped.
rebounded off the baggage area.
Oh, okay.
I think. Because they didn't pay as much attention. They really focused on this girl that snapped her neck on the.
That made me fucking laugh when you
was
saw
the
that
best
neck
scene.
snap. So then he comes in for a landing and he finds a robe and they land in where do
In
they land?
distress.
Yeah.
Their shit's like falling apart.
But where do they land? They land like in the Philippines or Malaysia or something. I can't remember where it turns out that they landed.
Rebel controlled island. Jolo.
Where the fuck is Jolo?
Jolo Island in the Philippines.
Philippines. Yeah, I knew it was Philippines because I've been to the Philippines so many times. But they land.
The black dude was an RCMP officer.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I
So
didn't catch that.
they land and then they're taking everything out of the plane and they're trying to set up their makeshift tents and stuff. And then Gerard Butler says, "Oi, am I going to have any trouble with you?" to the guy. And
He's
the guy's
like, what?
so I don't understand your fucked up accent. Well, let me do it, lesser. But the guy says, "Nope, you're not gonna have trouble with me." He's like, "All right, I'll uncuff you, and then we'll go looking for where we saw like a village or a building or something a little bit back."
He doesn't say anything.
Yes, he does.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they say that we saw the
No, the black dude, he doesn't say anything. Like, he's just like,
he says, "Are you gonna take these cuffs
he
off?"
just decides to take the cuffs off eventually, and then
I thought he said because he wanted that guy to go with him. I
no,
kind
that's
of
the reason for sure.
Okay.
But he's like, I'm gonna take these off, and luckily this guy has volunteered to come with me.
okay.
And then the black guy is just like,
All right. And then they both go. And this is where like my eyes started closing a little bit because
what's the black guy's name?
then I saw you and black people. Like you were the most racist person.
He's a
But,
black guy. What's wrong with that? The white guy and the black guy teamed up
How come you could say Gerard Butler?
because I know his name.
How come you know the black guy's name?
I'm trying to figure that out, but you're giving me a hard time.
Once you know, tell me because I don't know it either. But but so they go walking, and this is where
Is it
I started drifting away.
Mike Coulter?
And
Yeah, Mike Coulter is the
okay.
actor's name.
and then Gerard Butler and him get attacked, I think, and then they go to a place where they see that someone has filmed some videos for hostages because there's some bad dudes in the
Yeah,
Philippines that want to go get the plane.
It's some kink, you know?
Yeah, that's what you
They're,
gotta kill
they're
people
like,
sometimes.
they're fucking dead bodies and using red paint because they like red paint.
Nothing wrong with that. But okay, so then I saw Gerard Butler had a gun, Mike Coulter had a gun, and then I fell asleep. and I don't know what happened past that point. So you're going to have to explain to our audience who's ravenous to know what plane is all about.
What's hilarious is about the exact same time, my wife had a stomach attack, gallbladder attack, gallstone attack, and she couldn't finish the movie. So I was like, "Shit, I need to watch this movie for the thing." But you're having your stupid fucking gallstone attack. I'm kidding.
Typical
I'm kidding.
wife.
It sucks. Gallstone
Jesus.
attacks are the worst. You need to go to the hospital. You feel like you need to go to the hospital. Hospital can't do anything for you. You're just in pain until it subsides. So she went through hell
It's like me in my
last
back.
night.
You've never had pain like I have in my back.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you said bag. I'm like,
In my bag either. Humongous balls. Pants are too constrictive.
there's
You know what's fucked
you could
up?
wear a kilt.
So
Like,
I went to
Gerard
Old
Butler.
Navy. There's Old Navy has one type of pants I like, the stretchy slim fit ones. And I go there and I'm like, okay, I need.
stretchy ones too. But
Yeah,
they're-
they all have, like
these
spandex
are
in them.
Wrangler.
Dude, it's so great. And I didn't know these pants existed till like last year. So I go there and I'm like, okay, dude, I don't want the acid wash ones. I'm not remaking, breaking. So give me some of the dark ones and the light ones. And my sizes are 36 by 32. Those are my sizes.
I'm getting closer to you.
And I
I'm
get
like
home.
40 now, or almost 38.
It's good.
I don't know. That was so forced.
So I get home and Leslie goes, you're not 38 by 32. You're not 36 by 32. You're 38 by 30. I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, look at your fucking pants. What do they say? And I'm like, my pants say 38 by 30. I was like, fuck. But then I go and look at my Old Navy stretchy pants, a pair that I already have, which is why I bought another pair because I wanted these same stretchy pair. They're 36 by 32. So Old Navy, I am taller by 2 inches and skinnier by 2 inches than I am for Levi's pants. That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, different makes will be
That's
different
so
sizes.
frustrating.
Women deal with this all the time.
And women deal with it far more, I think, than men have to deal with. But I was like, what a pain in the ass. But the good news is,
What a plane in the
what a plane in the
trying to get us
passenger
back on course.
But
But
these
like
are good pants. So that's the last thing I know. So why don't you explain what happens?
The kink shaming part happened. Did you see the fight that happened in that scene? Because I have oh god damn it! They had a little fight scene with Gerard Butler and no-name Philippine actor. It was a good fight scene. Like it was general fight quality, but how it was shot, and I've noticed throughout the movie they had some like interesting like
Choreography?
zooms and pans that they used, and it was like, okay, you don't see those often. They did this throughout the fight scene, where so they were like barrel rolling and like zooming in and zooming out, and it wasn't like the horrible fight choreography where they just do jump cuts. Oh my god, that sucks. This was actually pretty. You should go back just to watch this fight scene. It's the only time in the movie they ever used this.
Did any part did he go, now it's time for you to go to sleep? That's probably why I went to sleep.
Maybe it was gonna be. Anyway, like that, if they would have done a fight movie within this plane movie and used those types of scenes, I would have been super happy.
Why wouldn't they have called it Mile High Fight Club?
Because then you'd have to fight on the plane the whole time and be like Air Force One. Air
good
Force?
point.
Air
Force One.
Yeah. Harold
Yep, Haroldson Ford.
Harrelson Ford. Okay, so he fights. Cool for choreography. Fights this guy. Kills him, or I don't know. Ends up calling for help, but only gets the.
Oh wait,
You got
I
the
also saw the co-pilot was able to get power back to the plane. I remember seeing that too, where he flicked on some buttons and some stuff came on.
That ended up being a little later, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I must have woken up for a second. Oh, look, power.
It's like we have a plot in front of us.
A plot synopsis.
After the group leave.
Yep. After the Lee
There it
rock.
is. Okay.
That's when they start rapping.
Authorities are unwilling to send troops into rebel-controlled island. Brody goes off into the jungle to seek help, accompanied by Gaspar. At an abandoned warehouse,
Who's
Brody...
Gaspar, the black dude?
Yeah. At an abandoned... He's from France or something. Maybe Quebec.
Quebec.
French Foreign Legion? Something.
Quebec. The worst... I went to Quebec one time, and we went to Montreal. And when we were... Like, Montreal's a beautiful city, if you've never been there, dude.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I got engaged there.
Oh, wow. To who? So we were in Montreal.
I was gonna answer that, and then I was just about to. I'm like, you fucker,
Dick. We were at a mall. And we were buying something, and we mentioned that we were from Toronto. And the lady's like, "Oh, here in Montreal, we really, really wish we were like Toronto." And I was like, "Why? Why the fuck would you want to be like
has its
Toronto?
own thing. It's like poutine everywhere.
Toronto is a cesspool of disgust. Never, ever, ever want to be like Toronto. Want to be like fucking like Montreal. The place is beautiful.
You go 5 steps, another poutine place
And their strippers do amazing things to each other.
with poutine.
That's what I'm saying.
Like they have a poutine bar, and you can watch the strippers while you're eating poutine.
And you can soak them in gravy.
And if you're lucky, they'll bring out the bacon tray to put on your poutine. Oh my god! At an abandoned warehouse, Brody phones his superiors and daughter.
Yeah, she was pretty flat.
I hated this whole
Anytime
daughter
she was
thing.
He was like, "Oh, I'm talking to you on the phone. You're my daughter." And she's like, "Hi, Dad. How are you?"
When they initially had the daughter to begin with, I was like, "Is this his like
adopted?
no like
Oh, like underage girlfriend.
underage girlfriend?" I'm like, okay, they're going there, and then I was like, no, of course it's a daughter. I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh, they're in Singapore.
it's true. At an event, okay, but
You racist.
why? What was racist about that?
For me to say they are in Singapore, you should have said you racist.
No, but I already know you are.
Oh.
But what am I? So he phones his superiors and daughter to tell the location, but is attacked by a rebel. The funny part of this is he phones in and talks to the operator, and the operator's like, sir, we have been getting prank phone calls all day about that. And then they keep on repeating the line every time he says something. But sir, we got prank phone. How is this helping?
Because it's making the plot get super tense.
Sir, I'll write down your complaint and I'll give it to my superior.
Was on the edge of my seat because that's where I usually keep my pillow. And I was like, while this was going on.
Okay.
Our new cat was likely sleeping.
Attacked by the rebel who he subdues.
Phil will put up our new cat right here.
They encounter.
That's our new cat.
No, that's a picture of
His
the
name
Lion
is
King.
Bowser, but I call him Measles.
They encounter a site used by the rebels to make ransom videos and race back to the plane, but are beaten to it by rebel leader Datu Junmar, who kills a Korean couple who try to escape.
You know, if anyone wanted to get a tattoo in honor of him, it'd be a tattoo.
Yeah, you got me.
Makes you think.
And takes the surviving passengers and crew hostage, intending to secure large ransoms from their families. After the group leaves, Brody and Jasper overpower remaining rebels and force them to reveal the location of their lair. Before leaving, Brody leaves a note for rescue teams telling them what happened. At the rebel hideout, Brody and Jasper kill the hostages' guards and sneak them into a bus.
None of this sounds very exciting. Was it any of this exciting?
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was like
It sounds very-
This movie is like a typical Gerard Butler / what's the other ones? You took my daughter.
Yeah. No. Like Washington lies been no.
Yeah.
Washington overdone
no.
or White House down
Yeah.
or something over or something like that.
White House over
I know there's one called Washington something.
over the moon.
Over the moon with Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Mermaid.
Mr. Washington goes to the moon. Black Mermaids on Washington's patrol.
Mermaids down.
Blurmaid down. Black Blurmaid down.
Brody.
That's redundant.
Okay. Brody decides to stay behind to distract the rebels. As he is about to be executed, the rescue team arrives, inflicting heavy casualties on Junmar's men.
Junmar? What happened to Datu?
That's Junmar.
Okay.
Back at the plane, Brody and his co-pilot Samuel I forgot how he said it.
Deal or delay.
Deli or
Something, yeah.
Dealey
It was an Asian way of saying it.
managed to make the plane operational again and gather the hostages inside for takeoff.
I thought they fucking gutted the plane.
They didn't.
Okay.
They just left it. And then they left 2 men there to go through the belongings to find out, so they can contact the families.
Right.
Scarsdale's group set up a Barrett M82 counter material rifle for increased firepower, and together with Gaspar, fight off Genmar's men. Now, you would have loved this. It makes no sense, in terms of physics, but they started shooting this giant anti-tank
what do they call
weapon.
they call them anti-aircraft or the AIG.
I couldn't tell if it was an anti-aircraft one or an anti-tank one, but it was armor-piercing bullets.
Holy
And
fuck.
they went through, but then didn't go through the men. Once it hit the men, it pushed them back.
Oh shit!
So instead,
It's a bullet that punches you.
it should have gone right through them,
Oh shit! You know what else?
but it didn't.
I want to watch John Wick 4.
We are. Gaspar chooses to stay behind.
See,
We did that.
How do you not have you have a son, so you know what it's like to be talking to your son about something, and then he totally talks about something else.
Well, I do the same thing. Gaspar chooses to stay behind to distract Genmar's forces and allow Scarsdale's team to board the plane, preventing an attempt by Genmar to blow up the plane with an RPG, and later fleeing into the jungle with a bag of money brought by the mercenaries to pay for the hostages. Was that just a giant long? It was. Okay.
Wow.
The plane is too damaged and too low on fuel to make a long journey, but Brody manages to land the plane miraculously at the neighboring island of Siassi, where they are finally rescued by the government forces, and where Brody receives praise from the passenger and crew. I thought they were going to do this slow clap thing at the end. But
What does he ever
just,
say?
He just sits down to call his daughter.
What does he ever say
He's
about
got 2 gunshots.
about Jaspar or Gaspar?
Gaspar went off on his own. He took the
He
bag
didn't
of
have
money.
he didn't have to answer the RMCP. Excuse me, Gerard Butler, where's our prisoner?
No,
we lost him in the.
Yeah.
He
died.
He died in the fire crash.
He died
that's-
heroically for the crew.
I was gonna say that's more Australian. Oh, you got. Oh, fuck. I don't know how to do this.
Where's my kilt?
You're Gerard Butler if he had a stroke or some sort of palsy.
I forgot my accent. What accent is this? I'm just really angry.
Oh,
Hit my head on the mic.
so you're saying that this movie was plain?
No, it was good. It's got like an 8 out of 10 or something.
I'll give it a
Rotten
5 out of
Tomatoes.
10 because I only saw half of it.
I give it a good 6.
Okay.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's what do you expect from this kind of movie? Like if I saw what's his face make another my daughter is missing, I gotta find her. I know who you are. I'm gonna come get you movie.
That's Liam Neeson.
Yeah, if any Liam Neeson movie that comes out,
They're kind of the same
like
thing.
Recreation and Reminisce, and it's always these one-word titles. What was the last one? It was
Plain.
like Imagination, Misery.
But his is going to be PLAIN.
And
I've got a
and
very
he'll be
set
a
of playing
woodworker.
skills. Oh shit, plane, and he's playing and shit.
It's the start of the movie.
Where's my daughter with my new plane?
Huh.
So yeah, it was fine.
It's
what I
worth
saw of it.
watching. Not in the theater. I'm glad we waited and watched the DVD that we rented
Yes, that's right. We rented a DVD.
from Blockbuster.
We
Rogers Video.
rented it off Amazon Prime.
Jumbo Video.
Jumbo Video.
We had some popcorn. Remember that?
Pop-up video. Oh, that was much music.
Where
Remember?
did you rent stuff as a kid?
Jumbo Video.
Yeah. That was because you got the free
We
popcorn.
had Jumbo, and then that Jumbo got bought out by a Blockbuster, and then it was Blockbuster.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay, yeah. Because then Rogers Video took over the market.
Oh, did they? No, there was a couple Rogers videos that we had, but our Jumbo video turned immediately into a Blockbuster, and it was like the fucking biggest thing around. So like people, because this is back in Brampton.
That's when
people from other
Blockbuster was
towns-
new, wasn't it?
It must have been.
Yeah.
Because people from other fucking towns like Mississauga would come over to Brampton just for our Blockbuster. And those fuckers cut off the free popcorn, which is bullshit.
I agree.
Jumbo was fucking awesome for
Kingston
that.
had a Jumbo video up until recently. Like
Really, eh?
5 years ago or
Shit.
6 years ago.
Because that was like a Jumbo video. You could go there and you could just loiter for hours just eating fucking free popcorn.
You could. Their hope is that you pay for other things. Thank you for watching. We're sorry you've been watching Complain.
We've also been watching Complain.
Next week, Quantumania.
Really?
I think so.
God.
Yes. I have tickets.
Great.
I'm going on Sunday.
Lucky. I want to go see The Whale. That's what I want to go see.
I'm surprised it hasn't come out
I know.
on other things.
Yeah, on available VOD.
VOD, HBO Max. I don't know why I did it.
You're talking to someone on your plane.
I'm telling them to release it now.
All right, goodbye, everybody.